The gym. Old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, fly fishing guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end. Squats.
Yeah, try it sometime.
I may be retired, but I still have finances to manage. With direct deposit and automatic payments, ICCU makes it easy to spend less time banking and more time baking.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing? Happy Thursday, Boise State fans. Welcome on into another edition of Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. A BVA Development Thursday. Appreciate Tommy Alquist and BVA for their sponsorship of Bronco Nation News, our Thursday show sponsor here, BVA. We appreciate their support. Make sure you check them out. Idaho's developer, BVAdev.com. We appreciate everybody for checking us out today. We're going to play a couple of clips from Andy Avalos. We're going to get your reaction, your thoughts. I put a couple of them on Twitter last night, but was cutting up some audio. Watched that press conference live in person in the front row, and then watched it two more times on video last night. And some interesting thoughts on some of the things Andy Avalos kind of snuck in there. So let's get your thoughts, your comments, what you thought of it. We're going to talk a little NIL as well. The gentleman that started and is with Bronco Brew Coffee, Scott Anthony, the marketing director, is going to join us. We're going to tell you a little bit about what Boise State is doing in the NIL game today, and tell you a little bit about the really cool things they're doing with Bronco Brew Coffee. So that'll be a little later in today's show. But we want your comments. We want your questions. We got a lot to get to on today's show, and so we're excited to be here at Bronco Nation News Live. By the way, we need 27 more subscribers. I'm trying to get to 800 by the Wyoming game. Not sure it's possible. I would love to get there. So if you can help us out, we still have some of these Taco Bell gift cards, $20 to Taco Bell if you sign up for a 1-year subscription at Bronco Nation News. And we got a couple left, so we'll be happy to give you. I think I got 3 left. So you can see the promo code at the bottom of the screen on the crawl there, BNN 50 deal. You get a full year, all of Mike Prater's exclusive content, all of my content, including my story and my thoughts on Andy Avalos, kind of politicking for his job, it seemed like yesterday during the press conference. All that is behind the paywall, $50. It's less than $1 a week. Gets you a year subscription to BNN. And as I said, I'll throw you a $20 gift card to Taco Bell if you're interested in that as well. So if you'd rather have a round of golf at Timberstone, I'm kind of in a good mood today. I got a couple extra rounds of golf as well. So if you want a free round of golf at Timberstone, I'll throw that in, which essentially covers your $50 subscription by itself. I think the greens fees are $44. So check it out. BroncoNationNews.com. Click the subscribe button or register button over in the corner, and then you sign up for the $70 yearly option. You get $20 off your first year. It's $50 using that promo code BNN50 deal, and then you get the gift card to either Taco Bell or our friends out at Timberstone Golf Course. So appreciate everybody for checking us out today. I say it always, but if you're watching on YouTube, hopefully you're a subscriber on YouTube. If you're not, hit that button. I think it's over in this corner. There's a little red button that says subscribe. Hit that and then turn on the notifications. You'll know whenever we go live for our live broadcasts, whether it be a pregame show, a postgame show for Boise State football, Boise State basketball, or if it's a just a typical morning show like we're doing right now. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube. If you are watching on Facebook or Twitter, we appreciate you, but I cannot put your comments on the screen. We can only put YouTube comments on the screen during these shows. So if you want to interact in the chat, we got about 65 people right now in the YouTube chat that are hanging out and chatting and arguing back and forth on different things Boise State related. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, come on over to the YouTube chat. Join us there, the ICCU YouTube chat, and that's where you can hang out, and we will get to your comments and put them on the air. So excited for today's show. No interviews or anything. I mentioned Andy Avalos talking yesterday. We're going to get to some of those comments here shortly. Let's check the chat real quick before we get to Andy Avalos. What did everyone think about Coach's explanations about the 6 points from the 6-1 record? Well, good that you asked, because we're going to play that here. We're going to play that here in just a minute. He was more curious about our opponent scoring 21 points in 4 minutes. You mentioned the 6 points from 6-1. Well, they're also 11 points from 1-6. Let's not forget about that either. They did lose. They won by 7 against San Jose, won by 3 against San Diego State. Or 8, I guess it was, against San Jose. So they also are 11 points from 1-6. We have to, if we're going to say the 6-1, we got to say that they're not that far from 1-6 either. So it actually kind of feels like the record is probably about what it should be. Clint says, again, after the Avalos presser, no go Broncos afterwards. Just something I'm starting to notice. I don't remember him doing that too much during the weekly press conferences. I don't remember him telling the media, go Broncos, as he walked off. Maybe he did. I'm not sure. Jordan mentions they're having a tailgate for the Blue Collar Club on Saturday while watching beach volleyball. Check that out if you'd like. I'm actually going to take the kids, I think, tonight to the soccer game. Boise State Soccer has a home game tonight, and we'll be heading there for that. And I think volleyball has a match. The traditional volleyball team has a match on Saturday as well. So a lot going on with Boise State athletics, even though it's not football or basketball yet. But I believe I'm going to take the boys to the soccer game tonight. Check out Kenzie McMillan, who is scoring at a crazy rate, was the named to the weekly All-American team this week with scoring 2 more game-winning goals, I believe. So soccer team is rolling. They've only lost 1 game, I believe, all season. A lot of ties, but only 1 loss. And maybe it's 2 now. But so they're playing very, very well. They're in second place, I believe, in the Mountain West. And the Raines family, you may see us out there tonight watching some Boise State soccer. Robbie Robinson, hey, can Leon Rice be the head coach of basketball and football at the same time? That's pretty funny. Hope you guys saw my article, by the way. We had some fun with it, kind of a bye week. Why not? Leon Rice had this crazy idea where a kicker could essentially get in motion to pick up speed and then take off towards the ball, kind of like they do on a kickoff. So you could try to kick it further. I called the Mountain West coordinator of officials. I called, who else did I call? Oh, I talked to Demario Warren, the special teams coach, and I talked to Jonah about whether or not it would actually work. Some mixed reactions. They thought it might be worth a try at some point, but didn't want to do it during the season, have a chance to get hurt. But I guess in the NFL, they do start a little further back on some of the longer field goals, but they don't get a running start, which is kind of what Leon was thinking about. But, well, with Coach Rice, you're always going to get a crazy idea, and I thought it was pretty funny, and I guess had some fun writing that story. Let's see. Definitely thinking the 2 QB system is going to go away. The sooner the better, honestly. I will say this, guys. I don't know if you watched the full press conference, and we're going to hear one of the quotes here. Maybe we can start with that quote from Andy Avalos, but he never specifically said they're going to play both quarterbacks. He praised both quarterbacks. He actually started to say, we're going to play, and then he kind of stopped, and you'll hear that here in the answer. He never he talked about both help the team win, both do positive things, both, help them be efficient in different areas, but he never said the 2 quarterback system is going to continue. It probably is based on what he said, but I just wanted to throw it out there, something to keep in mind. He never explicitly said we're going to continue playing both quarterbacks. So keep that in mind. And then Jay Tust also asked, and maybe we start with that one. Jay Tust asked, is your starting quarterback still Taylon Green? He said the last 2 weeks, the focal point of the offense, the starter was Taylon Green, and he did not say that yesterday. Let's hear from Andy Avalos when Jay Tuss asks, who is your starting quarterback? Is Taylon Green still your starting quarterback?
I'm not going to give a competitive advantage answer on something like that, but we love what TG has done. And when he continues to do, again, he made an extremely impressive play at the end of that game that unfortunately got called back for a penalty.
So not going to say who the starting quarterback is in the short term. Probably just gamesmanship, but, he spent a lot of time praising Maddox Madsen during that press conference. So I don't know if we know for sure what's happening there. So you can read between the lines, but he never said for sure we're playing 2 quarterbacks. And he also never said that Taylon Green was starting. So now I'm not saying that all of a sudden, they're going to have, Maddox Madsen play the full game, but I think that it's a little less concrete going into the game than it was the last couple of weeks or so. Let's see here. Logan Byler, what email do you want me to email you at? It's just Rains, RAINS at BroncoNationNews.com. RAINS at BroncoNationNews.com. Logan will be getting his gift card for his subscription, and we've got a couple left. Again, if you want to subscribe, BNN 50 deal, $50 one-time subscription to Bronco Nation News, or a 1-year fee, less than $1 a week. And again, you get a Taco Bell gift card, $20, or a free round of golf at Timberstone. So jump in now before we run out. And that Timberstone golf cart essentially takes care of your $50 year subscription right there. So less than $1 a week. If you can't afford the yearly option, we have the $6.99 option as well. You had Mike Prater's column on what Jeremiah Dickey should do with Andy Avalos. You had my column yesterday, and I don't know about you guys, but I wrote this in the story. You can read the whole story online, BroncoNationNews.com. But it truly felt like Andy Avalos was sticking up for himself and, frankly, politicking to Jeremiah Dickey and to fans that he deserved, to keep the job. I mean, you look at all the stuff that he was saying, and certainly he's talking about the record almost being 6-1. All the young players he mentioned multiple times, and they're playing among the most true freshmen in the nation right now. And so, they're valid points that he's making, but it felt like to me that Andy Avalos was really trying to paint this picture that they're playing a lot of young players. They're really close and the future is extremely bright. Give me the chance to do that. And so he mentioned his faith, which we haven't heard a lot, and we're going to get to that quote as well. I thought there was a lot of things in there, but he weaved in, he kept saying we don't want to make excuses, but then he weaved in a lot of things that could be perceived as excuses throughout the press conference. So interesting times. And again, keep the comments coming in the YouTube chat. We will get to those. Let's see. Do you feel that Andy kind of threw Bush under the bus regarding the QB situation? Let's hear that quote from Andy Avalos right now, and you can decide for yourself. Andy Avalos, I asked the question. I was, the Twitter tough guys that have the 4 followers were saying that I wasn't asking tough questions to the coaching staff. And this wasn't necessarily a tough question, but I was kind of curious, who is pushing for this 2-quarterback system? Is it Andy Avalos? Is it Bush Hamdan? Are they in agreement on this? So I asked Andy Avalos yesterday because, remember, Bush Hamdan said at the last press conference last week, what'd you learn after the San Jose State game? He said, you learned you'd like to have one quarterback. I know he was kind of joking because he chuckled, but I think in some ways, one quarterback is easier than this back and forth type thing. I think a lot of you guys want one quarterback. I want one quarterback. And Bush Hamdan said that. So I phrased it that way to Andy Avalos yesterday. I said that Bush told us he kind of wanted one quarterback. So who is pushing for this? Is it Bush? Is it you? Who wants the 2 quarterbacks? And here's what Andy Avalos had to say.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is I'm going to go with what our offense coordinator feels, is the best thing. And then I want to know the plan too, just like you guys do. I'm going to be a part of that plan. I'm going to be a part of facilitating that plan and exactly what it looks like. But ultimately, I'm not the guy calling the plays either. I'm a guy that has a lot of influence on what we do and how we build the culture and the vibe of it. But, again, right now we're in a situation where we got 2 very capable quarterbacks.
2 very capable quarterbacks, but again, didn't say that both of them would continue to play. So what'd you make of that comment from Andy Avalos? Twice saying, I'll do whatever the offensive coordinator thinks is best, and then also reminding you that he doesn't call the plays either. So I don't know if I'd say throwing him under the bus. I mean, he's being honest, but I was under the impression this was an Andy Avalos-led thing, that Andy Avalos was the one that wanted to push and play both quarterbacks. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe, or at least he's saying that Bush is the one that's wanting that. So as Jordan says, good leaders hire good people, trust them. Micromanaging the offense as a defensive-minded head coach makes little sense. Appreciate the comment, Jordan. And I got to say, Jordan's one of the most positive Boise State fans I know. And I know it's got to be tough, but Jordan is fighting off folks left and right because I've seen the social media post, Jordan. You're staying extremely positive during all this. I get it. It's tough. But Boise State, certainly, in a weird spot right now. And I think that, Kaysen says a head coach should take full responsibility, in my opinion. Chad says pretty lame answer. He's the head coach. The buck stops with him. Logan says not a lot of ownership on offense, kind of put it on Bush. I have a hard time disagreeing with everything there that you guys said. I mean, it certainly is a situation where, sometimes he takes full responsibility. Sometimes it's, hey, but if it really is the offensive coordinator, he should say that. So if that is the honest truth, then I appreciate him for being honest and opening up about that. So there are a lot of other comments that I do want to get to from Andy Avalos, but we were talking NIL, and I want to talk about Bronco Brew coffee. We got some cool stuff going on with that, and we'll get back to Andy Avalos in a little bit. But we're going to take a quick 90-second timeout. Thank a few of our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. 90 seconds. It's quick. Check out our sponsors, and we'll be talking Boise State NIL. How do they keep Ashton Genty? Well, we got some ideas we're going to tell you next on Bronco Nation News. Be back in 90 seconds. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. CUI more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, we continue on here. Bronco Nation News Live on a Thursday edition. BVA, Ball Ventures, Allquist Thursday. Appreciate Tommy Allquist, BVA, for their support of BNN. And let's see here. Pierce Bradshaw says, got to shell out a lot of money. That's how we keep Ashton. Talon Green, Ashton Genty, your star athletes at Boise State. You want to keep them? Well, they got a cool new thing going, and it's called Bronco Brew Coffee. You see me having it right here. Rain's family, big supporters. We love Bronco Brew Coffee. And Scott Anthony, the marketing director for Bronco Brew Coffee, is going to join us here in just a second, if I can press the right button to bring him on. And there he is. We got our man, Mr. Anthony. Scott Anthony, how we doing, sir?
Oh, doing just fine.
Me?
Pleasure to be on, BJ.
There he is. Hey, angle your camera down just a little bit if you can.
So we can
angle your camera down a little bit so we can see you a little better here. I put this cool graphic together and screwed up your background.
Yeah.
All right, tell us.
Have the cool studio that you do.
I know.
Got a little makeshift here.
That's all right. I'm going to make you full screen in a second. We'll see your background there. But tell us, we got some stuff to get to here. Bronco Brew Coffee, a new innovative thing where not only is the coffee awesome, but it's directly associated with Boise State and NIL opportunities for student athletes. Every bag of this coffee that is purchased or tin sends a couple bucks into the pocket of a athlete at Boise State. Give us the 411 on this. You got over 100 people on YouTube watching this live. We're going to have thousands more watching throughout the next couple days. But tell us about Bronco Brew Coffee, man. And first of all, appreciate you jumping on board as an advertiser and a sponsor of BNN. We're excited, and we hope we can help you guys sell a lot of these bags of coffee. But tell us about it, man. Thanks for coming on.
Well, we're honored also to be on Bronco News Nation and bags. Let's hope we can sell thousands of bags. Kind of the whole premise behind it is we set up this brand with Boise State Athletics. So all of the profits from the purchase go to the university or to the athletes. So, roughly, half of what you're paying for the coffee is going right into the program. And we saw a great need on the NIL front and decided to create the brand so that we could help raise as much funds as we possibly can for the athletes. If you go online and you look, there's a whole athlete roster. You can pick which athletes you want to sponsor. There's different, men's and women's athletes. We wanted to have an opportunity for everybody. Obviously, on the show today, talking a lot of football. That's extremely important. Kind of all the sports are led with football. We're putting together a QB1 fund. You could actually pick that to get your sponsorship dollars. You can kind of steer where you want to go. It's pretty easy to get on the site and see how it works. Not only that, you can also become part of the team. You can make money or get discounts on your coffee by helping spread it, putting it on your social media. And you are on a team when you do that. You're on one of the athletes' team So all the efforts that you put out there sharing with your family and friends, that all goes right to that athlete. When someone buys a bag of coffee or even one of our cans of coffee, once you do that, you are tied to that athlete. So any coffee you buy after that, you don't have to do anything else. They're going to get paid every single time you make a purchase. And anybody that you've told about it, when they make a purchase, that's also going to go into that chosen athlete or into that fund. The instance I used was the QB1 fund, which that we're putting together. We want that to raise funds so that the athletic department and the football department is able to have an NIL deal that they can offer on an annual basis. If we could get just 700 people in Bronco Nation to join up into that QB1 fund and make Bronco Brew coffee their daily coffee, would generate enough income that we'd have 100 deal annually to all the coaching staff would know when they're out recruits. It actually
you're breaking
amount to athletes, and that's just where everything's gone these days.
You're breaking up a little bit there, so I'm going to cut you off there for just a second and make sure I can explain what you just said there. Now, you're talking about a QB1 fund, and you're trying to raise $100,000 a year to hand over essentially to QB1 or the high-profile player that you want to keep at Boise State. And the math is pretty simple on this. You look at the QB1 fund and what you're trying to do, 700 supporters. They get $2.70 a bag of coffee. That's 15% of the bag. 52 weeks. If you buy a bag a week, that's $98,000. So essentially, all it takes is 700 people that already drink coffee, making the switch to Bronco Brew coffee, and all of a sudden, that's $100,000 a year in NIL money that you guys can use in this QB1 fund to disperse to an athlete at Boise State. You also mentioned there are other athletes. I know Markel Reed is on there on the football team. I saw Kobe Young on the basketball team. A lot of softball and soccer, and you guys are working on some other, gymnastics and other sports as well. And I know when the season ends, you're going to be adding more football and basketball players. That's kind of came up during the season. You're not wanting to really bug them at this point. But as you said, they can go on there and when you buy your coffee,
Correct.
you can choose which athlete you want the money to go to, and you just click on Markel Reed, and then every time you buy a bag of coffee, Markel Reed literally gets like $3 from it. I mean, it's a pretty cool thing, and the fact that Boise State is officially on board with this, you guys are officially a sponsor of theirs. How is this? How are you guys? This is an innovative thing that I haven't seen a lot of in terms of the NIL and being an official partner of Boise State. Just by folks redirecting the coffee they already drink to Bronco Brew coffee, and maybe talk about the coffee itself. I know it's a specialty blend of coffee that is pretty darn good.
Yeah, BJ, we've got about 30 different coffees on the website. We get coffee from 30 different countries around the world. We've got several different blends on there. There's some single origin coffees. All of it is 100% Arabica coffee. It's roasted to order. When you place your order online, within 24 hours, it's roasted fresh. It's packaged, it's sent off to your house. If you live in, Boise, Eagle, Meridian, you usually have your coffee by the next day. We were able to handle some of those local deliveries. We're trying to even make that cheaper for the people for their local deliveries, to make that even cheaper than going through the post office. Delivery is kind of a 4-letter word. We know where fuel prices and everything are, and what the post office is charging. But again, it's a way to ensure you're getting really fresh coffee, which is really important. Coffee kind of, after it has all that heat from roasting, it starts losing its CO2. It loses some of its antioxidants. It can start to oxidize. There's several things we could get into, and if you want to get into any of those things too, you guys can email us. We're happy to come out and do a coffee tasting at your home, your office. We put a little show for you. It's kind of fun. Everybody gets to try some of the coffees. There's no cost to it. We really just want to have people get on board and become customers. We want your businesses, if you've got coffee in your break room and you make it Bronco, make it as easy as possible for you. That is, we want to make this so simple that is something that it just that money's going. It's like BJ said, but then there's another $3 going to the athletic department. I mean, there is a serious amount of money. All those retail profits on every purchase is going to Boise State athletics and right to the athletes.
And I know Mike Sanford, a colleague of ours now at Bronco Nation News, I saw a couple of his bags sitting by his coffee pot the other day when I was in town visiting him for the Colorado State game. And he has, he's got it set up for the weekly subscription. So he's in Colorado and he's getting a fresh bag every week. And he had one that was like literally 3 days, had been roasted 3 days prior. Somebody was asking if you deliver to Texas. I mean, you'll deliver pretty much anywhere, right? And it's within a couple days. You're drinking way fresher coffee than you would get at the grocery store, way better tasting coffee than you would at the grocery store, and you're helping out Boise State and the student athletes at the same time.
Absolutely. We delivered all 50 states. So, we make it simple. We know there's people, alumni, there's Bronco Nation people out all across the country. And, we're happy to, send it out to anybody. Mike, he's got a subscription. That's something anyone can do. You sign up for a subscription. You don't even have to think about it. You have that day of the week where, your coffee's going to arrive fresh on your porch. And, you never run out of coffee that way. And that's a really good, way to make your coffee buying simple and keep it extremely fresh. Many people have never had really fresh roasted coffee, so they might not even think it makes that much of a difference, but it really, really, truly does. Definitely quality, like anything, there's quality differences in coffee, just like anything out there. There's a frozen pizza to a fresh pizza right out of the oven from one of your favorite pizza. That big a difference. A tomato fresh out of the garden as opposed to something that's been sitting around in a warehouse for months.
What about K-Pods? A couple people asking if you have K-Pods.
We are equipment to do those. One of the reasons we haven't done it is they go stale really quick, but we do know that those are really convenient for people. We like to do, pour overs and things like that. If you email us, we got some quick ways you can easily make your coffee, but that is something, if we get some requests for that, we could definitely add really on, if people want them, we need to supply those. And if it helps Boise State and make it happen.
All right, Perry's chiming in here. He says, I'll be purchasing. So we got you at least one sale from this segment here, Scott. But tell us final thing. Just any final words you would have. You got Bronco Nation listening to this. What have we not covered? What do people need to know about this? Bronco Brew Coffee. It's broncobrew.coffee is the website. broncobrew.coffee. It's locally brewed right here in Garden City, right here in Boise. Any final thing that folks need to know and why they should go on right now to broncobrew.coffee and purchase this?
Honestly, we'll make sure that we have NIL funds, for these athletes. And by making this brand, this brand doesn't exist other than to be Bronco Brew and working with the school. And so this is something that we can ensure year in, year out is offering NIL, again, across all sports. I mentioned that QB1 fund. We want to do one for, softball, volleyball, obviously for basketball. And we want to keep working and grow this. And it's not going to grow if people don't like Perry. Perry, we appreciate you. We love the fact you're going to order some coffee. And again, if you want to email us, Perry, anyone else out there, and have us come in and do a coffee tasting, see what the product's all about, get more information about it. We appreciate BJ letting us on, but it's only so often he can make time to do that. But anyone out there, you are welcome to contact us directly. My name's Scott. You can reach me directly. It's Scott@broncobrew.coffee. And I'm happy to answer your questions, happy to come out and do a tasting for your group. We just really want this to grow. Not going to, Bronco Nation doesn't get behind it, but we're really hoping, since 70% of this country drinks coffee, if Bronco Nation's numbers are anywhere close to that, and we can get just a portion of that, the numbers, you can get your calculators out and do the math. And it's very simple to do. And really the bottom line, let's love coffee. Let's just jump if you wouldn't mind, and help support these athletes. They're working hard. We all know we had a tough loss over the weekend, but that's the time to really bear down and work harder. If we don't work hard now, those new recruits coming in, those great athletes we have now, it's time now to work even harder when we're down.
BroncoBrew.coffee is the website. You cannot buy this at, Ridley's Family Markets or any of the stores just yet. You got to go to BroncoBrew.coffee because it's roasted to order and they ship it right to you within 24 hours. Fresh coffee, helping a good cause, and you're helping Boise State, and you're also helping a supporter and advertiser at Bronco Nation News. So if you like our product and what we're doing at Bronco Nation News, and you like Boise State, help us, support us, make folks like Scott here want to keep advertising with us. Go purchase some coffee, help out Boise State in the process. And again, they're going to be adding new athletes to their roster all the time. You can go right on there to BroncoBrew.coffee, choose an athlete. I personally, Scott, was telling folks I recommend, at least right now, to go for a softball or soccer or volleyball player that maybe doesn't have a chance to make much money. But once some of the star football players come in there, that's an option. The QB1 fund, as you said, just needs 700 people to make the switch and get a bag a week of coffee, and they can have $100,000 a year in that fund for Boise State to use for NIL opportunities. So thank you so much, Scott, for jumping on. We appreciate it. We appreciate your support of BNN, and it's an awesome product here, and looking forward to helping you guys continue to see this thing grow, man. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you. We really appreciate you, BJ. Get on out there, and like I said, just try coffee. We know you're going to love it. Thanks, BJ.
All right, appreciate it, Scott. There he is, Scott Anthony with Bronco Brew Coffee. And again, the website is broncobrew.coffee. So a cool thing they're doing with NIL. And again, they are an advertiser at Bronco Nation News. So hopefully you'll jump on there and try their coffee. And I highly recommend it. It's great stuff. And you will not be disappointed. And a cool, innovative thing to help Boise State in the same process. So let's get back to Andy Avalos. We got a couple more thoughts, couple more clips to play from Andy. What do you think of Andy and what he said yesterday at the press conference? We'll do that in 90 seconds here on Bronco Nation News. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at tacobellworks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. Appreciate Scott for jumping on. There's some funny comments. Scott's Wi-Fi was weaker than the Bronco DB's. Yeah, he didn't have the perfect Wi-Fi, but we got the gist of it, and we heard almost everything he said. So we appreciate him for jumping on. We had a couple other folks saying that they would be jumping on as well. Let's see. Can you deliver to Texas? Yes, they deliver anywhere in the United States. So check that out. Robbie Robinson says, I'll definitely be getting some. So yeah, broncobrew.coffee is that website. All right, let's hear from Andy Avalos. We'll keep the show rolling here. Andy Avalos talking about the Broncos being 6 points away from being 6-1.
Fans out there and all that, that's on me. Number one, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, or the players, that's on me. I'll have their back every single day of the week. And I look forward to going down the stretch and marching in each one of these battles that we're going to have because they're dang good teams we play. But the bottom line is yeah, the record isn't what we all want it to be. Okay. I don't know anybody who's going to be happy about that. But the reality is we're talking about 6 points and we're not having this discussion. So let's find within those 6 points that we can get better. All the things that we've learned from in our experiences, we grow. Whether they're veterans or young players, we've been in a lot of end of game scenarios this year. Okay. Fair to say we have the experience of those things. And how will we operate going forward? How will we be able to build and use the experience to build the confidence to go when we're put in the next end of game situation, knowing whether it's 4-minute, 2-minute drive, whether it's a special teams end of game situation, we know now because of the experiences we have exactly what we need to do and how we're going to do it.
There you go. They now know the experiences. They have a young team. And by the way, the stats are correct on that. They have the fourth youngest team in terms of playing underclassmen in every game. And they have the 11th youngest team in terms of playing true freshmen. 4 true freshmen have played in every game this year, which ranks 11th in the country. So a lot of what Andy Avalos is saying is correct. They are playing a lot of young players, and they're giving them experience, right off the bat. And he said on special teams, they're playing a lot of young players. So, it is what it is. And he's, it sounds like excuses, but there is a lot of truth to what he's saying there. Now, is that going to be enough for Jeremiah Dickey and Marlene Tromp to say that there's, reasons to see why it would get better next year? We'll have to wait and see. Certainly a big 5 games here at the end of the season to decide what happens with the future of Andy Avalos. So, I think it's funny. A lot of people are not liking what he's saying. A couple people were okay with it. But Andy Avalos really went there into that press conference yesterday and had some stats ready, had some facts ready. I'm not going to say excuses. They've been without a lot of key players. And let's be honest here. Like, I know you fans don't want to hear it, but Andy Avalos has had a lot of bad luck this year. He just has. Deciding to go for it on 4th and 1, or deciding to kick it on 4th and 1 at Memphis, and then the kick gets blocked and returned. Like, that's just some bad luck on his part. Yeah, he should have probably gone for it. He made the wrong call, and then it backfired on him. That's just some bad luck. Having Eric McAllister not fall on that. We're not even having any of this discussion. If Eric McAllister, the best wide receiver on the team, falls on an onside kick that's literally right to him with nobody within 10 feet of him, the ball just somehow got away from him, and that started the comeback. If Eric McAllister, Boise State did everything right on that onside kick. Eric McAllister was in the perfect spot. He just didn't recover the ball. So I know fans don't want to hear it, but they're just having some bad luck. And the record, the team would be the same, but the record is, I would agree with him, been a little rough in terms of, trying to blame a lot of things. And the record would be a little better if it just had a little bit better luck. And that's just, how it comes down to it. So I get it, ifs and all that. And if he had done this, ifs, buts, I get it. I know it, but he has had a little bit of bad luck this year and some of these decisions backfiring and things not working well for him. And so it is what it is. They're 3-4. They're in a very, very tough spot, but there's outside noise. There's folks wanting Andy Avalos fired. They want to move on to the next coach. We asked Andy Avalos about that. How are you processing all the outside noise and all the fans and the heat that's coming your way?
Yeah, I don't, to be honest with you, 100%. I've told you guys before, I don't pay attention to the outside noise. I never have, and I'm not going to start doing that. I know the team that we've recruited and the team we're building, the record. I'm not happy with the record either. I don't think anybody is, right? But the reality of it is it's not where we want to be, and especially in the non-conference. But we have an opportunity here in our conference where we're 2-1, and we have the ability to work for our goal down the stretch here. And that's the bottom line. Again, as bad as the record looks, we're talking about 6 points. There's no excuses though. For me, it's in our staff and our players, it's within where those 6 points can we all get better to make up for that. Again, we're not a young team anymore. These guys have played 7 games now. We got a lot of experience. We're going to be able to apply that as we move forward here down the stretch in the second half.
Now, he is putting a lot on it. He said, hey, we had young players. They're not young anymore. Like, he is basically saying, like, yeah, the first 7 games, like, we, had a lot of young players play, had a lot of things go wrong. But he's saying like none of those are excuses in the final 5 games. So he's kind of putting himself out there. Like if we don't turn this around in the final 5 games, like, yeah, maybe I just sealed my fate. But I think he still feels very much believes that they can turn it around and that a turnaround is near. And they still control their own destiny. I know you guys don't want to hear it. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying the fact is they control their own destiny. If Boise State wins the final 5 games, they would be in the conference championship game, and I believe they would be hosting that conference championship game at Albertson Stadium. So if you're Andy Avalos, you got no choice. You got to rally around the facts, rally around the fact that, yes, this has been a crappy season. It's been a very poor season that most people at Boise State are not used to having in a long, long time. But guess what? You got a chance to still do something with this season, and that's got to be the rallying cry. So I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear that. You think they're going to go 3-9. I get it, whatever. But the fact is they still control their own destiny. As bad as it's been, they still control their own destiny in the Mountain West Championship race. And I believe they would have a tied record with everybody else, and they would have the head-to-head. So I'm pretty sure if they went out, the game would be at Albertson Stadium as well. So crazy to think about, but that's got to be what is that going to happen? Probably not. Is this team, going to struggle just to get to 6-6? Probably so. But you know what? Maybe the bye week came at the right time. Maybe they figure out this quarterback situation. And I think that's going to be a big key to Boise State moving forward is what they decide to do at quarterback. James says, well said. Broncos can still win the Mountain West, control their own destiny. No decision on the coach should be made at 3-4. Wait till the end of the season. Agree on that. Scoring more points this season than last season. Our defense is the problem. Chad, that is right. And Andy Avalos talks about that. We can go ahead and play that bite next from Andy Avalos. 5 games in a row, the Broncos have scored more than 30 points. So they've scored more than 30 points 5 games in a row. And again, the defense gave up the Hail Mary, gave up 3 touchdowns in the final 6 minutes or final 5 minutes, I guess, or even 4 if you want to do that. So yes, it has been a rough go for the defense, no doubt about it. But on the offensive side, the question I guess started with why did Talon Green not play more in the second half? And here's what Andy Avalos had to say.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that operationally that Maddox was handling better. That's the bottom line. But again, we're going to use. We have 2 good quarterbacks. Okay, we're very fortunate for that, and we've said that, and it's given us the ability to be more efficient in certain windows, given what their skill sets and what they do well. And so, yeah, I know we threw 2 interceptions, and that's going to be the topic of discussion, early in the game. But the reality is, too, it's not just always the quarterback or just the routes. Yeah, he threw the ball. The balls get tipped. We can and will do a better job protecting them. We didn't do a great job protecting them in one of those situations, and we got to create a clean pocket. It's a team game. It's a team effort. It's just when the quarterback throws, an explosive play to one of the wide receivers, typically those 2, they get the credit, they get the praise, but there's really, at least 5, potentially 6 other guys that make that play work in terms of the protection. And so I saw at this practice that we just left, I saw some really cool things from the O-line, working with the quarterbacks before the play and after the play, and encouraging, celebrating wins together in terms of winning 1 rep and then moving on to the next. And for us, ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Like, yes, we've got to create a rhythm and consistency, and that's honestly no different whether you're playing 1 quarterback or 2 from game to game. And that's on us as coaches to be able to prepare them and to obviously be able to create that rhythm. The execution then obviously comes down from the players on the field, and we're going to work really well together down the stretch as coaches and as staff to make sure on the offense side of the ball that we have that rhythm. We have a good offense. You look at, the numbers, in terms of what we've been able to do, and comparably speaking in the conference, maybe not where we can be or where we wanted to be at this point, but we've done some good things.
And Nate Staley, you're picking up what I'm throwing down there, Nate. I said this at the beginning of the show. He almost tripped up and said, we're going to use, and then he didn't. He said, we have two really good quarterbacks. So he did not say that they were going to continue to play two quarterbacks moving forward. It was a 32-minute press conference or whatever it is. I was there live in the front row, watched it 2 more times on tape, and I never heard him say, we're going to play two quarterbacks. He started to there, and then he stopped. He did, Nate. He stopped right there and did not say that they're going to play two quarterbacks. I wonder if I can find that the part of that clip again towards the beginning, but and then he spent a lot of time talking about Maddox Madsen. So to be 100% honest with you, it would not shock me if Maddox Madsen starts against Wyoming. I think that'd be the wrong decision. I think Talon Green, as I've said on this show numerous times, you all know how I feel. I think Talon Green, they won a lot of games with him at the end of last season. Is he the best passer out there? No. But I think he is a more than serviceable passer with what he brings with his legs. And you talk about running the ball 40 times a game. Well, why not go back to what you did last year when you just never passed? And if you get George Halani back after the bye week and you have Genty and Halani and Green in the backfield, get back to that backfield that you thought you'd have at the beginning of the year. Give Talon Green 10, 12, 13 rushing attempts a game. You know what? Don't worry about him getting hurt. If he gets hurt, you got Maddox Madsen that you apparently feel very good about. So I would be running Talon Green way more, and I would be playing Talon Green way more than he is. You saw what he did to try to finish out that game. He had the keeper and ran for the first down, but they had the holding call that brought it back. But, this is the deal. The problem you deal with is, as Bronco Ray says, Green will be gone by the end of the year, and maybe he will, but if Talon Green is not the future, do you really believe Maddox Madsen is? I mean, that's my question for you. If you want to play Maddox Madsen the rest of the year, some of you are on Team Maddox, that's fine. But do you think that Maddox Madsen is your QB the next couple of years? Is CJ Tiller ready to be your starting quarterback next year? If Talon Green leaves, I don't know if the answer to either of those are yes. So I think all of a sudden you're looking in the transfer portal to try to find your starting quarterback next year. So I think that the only chance you have of the starting quarterback being on the roster is Talon Green getting the majority of the reps the rest of the season, get him happy, win some games, find him some more NIL money, and build this team around Talon Green. So you know what? I'm a Talon Green guy. I think he has not gotten a fair chance. Yes. Are his third down passing numbers good? No. Are some of his other passing numbers great? No. Would they be better if he got to play the entire game and start to build some confidence? I believe so. And so I believe that they should, Wyoming game, start running Talon Green more, play him more, and especially if you get George Halani back, you could do some special things in the backfield there. We do have one more, I think at least one more, maybe two more sound bites from Andy Avalos that we want to play, but we got one more commercial break we got to take. 90 seconds, final break, and then your comments, your questions, and more of Andy Avalos. Don't go anywhere right after this on Bronco Nation News. You looking for a new job? Well, how about getting into the trucking industry? Our friends at Transportation Compliance Service can help you every step of the way, whether it's the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, all the paperwork, all the things you need. Let them help you out. Transcomservice.com. They'll have you out there towing that first load in no time. Transcomservice.com. United Commercial Insurance makes business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Give them a call, 229-8222. Bronco Nation News, a proud client of United Commercial Insurance. We highly recommend you do as well at UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. The Raines family is happy to have made the switch to Boise Dentistry Co. Highly recommend you do as well. Dr. Miner and his staff, full family dentistry for the whole family. They make it an enjoyable experience to go to the dentist, and we highly recommend you check them out. 5 locations in the Treasure Valley. You may think you're happy with your dentist. You'll be even happier if you make the switch to Dr. Miner and Company. Check them out online, BoiseDentistryCo.com. The pounds continue to fall off, and it's thanks to Dave and our friends over at Lean Feast. Check them out, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Full customizable meal prep. You want to go into the store, pick out your meals individually. That's great. It's right there on Eagle Road in Meridian. Or you can do it all online at leanfeast.com/Meridian, and they'll deliver it to you. 208-487-5782. They're feeding the football team, the basketball team, Talon Green, Ashton Genty, Tyson Degenhart, and more. Check them out. Lean Feast, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Still time to get that fall round of golf in, and you need to do it at Timberstone Golf Course out in Caldwell. Book a tee time at playtimberstone.com. The best greens in the valley, new technology, new golf carts, friendly environment, fun, challenging course. Check them out, Timberstone Golf Course. Book your tee time today, and I'll see you out there. Playtimberstone.com. I'm actually trying to get out to Timberstone tomorrow, so you may see me if you're going to Timberstone tomorrow. With the bye week, and I probably haven't played in golf in 3 months, and so my goal will be to break 100 tomorrow, but it's supposed to be nice weather again, and so I may do the show with Jay Tust and get out to Timberstone and play around the golf. I'm looking forward to that. So through all this, though, Andy Avalos has tried to keep perspective, keep the faith. I mentioned earlier in the show that he brought up his faith, which frankly he has not done a ton since he has been the head coach. It's come up a couple times, but it's not something that he regularly does. And he referenced his faith during yesterday's press conference as he's trying to get this thing turned around. So let's hear another quote from Andy Avalos. Tell me what you think on this one, how he's getting through this, how he's doing, and let's get your reaction afterwards.
It's always about keeping perspective, number one, okay? That's the hardest thing to do in this world. Trust me, I want to be at a certain spot right now too, but I'm thankful for the Lord. Like all the things that happened the other night in the last 6 minutes, it happened for a reason. And we take that in stride, and I'm going to stay by what I always do, which is walk in faith and answer to a higher being. And our players have done a really good job. Again, this week, we dusted ourselves off. We got back on the field, and we've had some of our best practices. We truly know and understand who we are and what we need to do to be our best moving forward. And to be honest with you, it was fun out there today, Mike. Those players, they helped me. The guys on this team, the way the coaches are coaching right now, the enthusiasm, the way they're getting after it on the practice field, the way everybody, that's fun. I'm not going to lose the joy of that, even though our record isn't what we want it to be. I'm not going to lose the joy of being at my alma mater and getting to coach football here and be around these guys each and every day.
Well, there he is, Andy Avalos, keeping perspective, and I got to give him credit for that. I thought that was the right perspective on things. Yeah, they're 3-4. Yeah, it sucks. It's not where they want to be. But you know what? It's there's worse things out there, and I truly believe that Andy Avalos feels they're very close to a turnaround. I know some people see it as excuse making, but you hear him talk, the conviction he had in his voice. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but he truly believes they can still salvage something from this season and going into next season. Now, obviously, keeping Ashton Genty, keeping some of these star players is going to be a huge, huge part of that. But he truly believes I'm coaching my alma mater. I'm living the dream here at Boise State, and it's about to get a lot better, even if a lot of people don't believe that. So I know in year 3, you want a lot more progress than you've seen. I get it. You're 3-4. You're 20-13 with Andy Avalos as head coach. Like, I get it. And that might be enough for Jeremiah Dickey to say, you know what? We can't wait around for year 4. We're trying to raise money for this end zone facility. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. If they finish 5-7, 6-6, he may be gone. But if they do what it sounds like he thinks they can do, go on a run here and get to 7-5, or heck, even win out and go 8-4 and get in the championship game. He really believes it's going to happen. So I don't know if it is, but he believes, and you got to give him credit for really believing. And as Rudy says, would love for him to be able to say, "I told you so" at the end of the year. And that's basically it. I mean, he, this is all, as Jordan says, refiner's fire happens for a reason. You learn more from adversity. It's been a really tough season, but Andy Avalos yesterday, Andy says you have to believe as a head coach. Yeah, you do. No doubt about it. You got to believe as a head coach. But I truly believe that he honestly thinks they're very, very close. And so I'm also starting to believe he's going to be around next year, by the way. I mean, if they lose out and go 3-9, he's probably done. But if they win 2 games, here, 5-7, 6-6, I'm starting to lean based on what he's saying. I think he probably gets another year here also. You guys may not want to hear that, but I don't have any reporting on that, no sources. I just I'm starting to think with the way he's talking and some of the again, I almost said excuses. They're not excuses, but some of the facts that have contributed to their record. I think that Jeremiah Dickey is also going to see those same facts and give him another year. So, Derek says, didn't realize that this is not necessarily true, Derek. They don't have the 4th youngest team in the nation. They've played the 4th most true freshmen in the nation. So there's a big difference there. They've played 4 true freshmen in every game, which is and they've played 20 underclassmen in every game. That's 4th and 11th respectively in the country. So it's not necessarily the 4th youngest team. They're playing some of the most youngest players to go with the veterans, obviously, as well. But defensively, going to have some changes against Wyoming. Got to get some things turned around as well. And I'm very curious. I don't have the bite here, but there was a bite where Andy Avalos said we're going to take this bye week to take a pause and see what makes the most sense at quarterback. And by the way, I'm going to be writing about that today. I focused yesterday on kind of Andy and his personal feelings and trying to move past this and staying positive. We're going to dive into the quarterback situation today, BroncoNationNews.com. That's going to be my story today that I'll start writing here shortly after the show ends. What should Boise State do at quarterback? What does it sound like they're going to do at quarterback? And we'll kind of dive into the future here going into the Wyoming game, because Andy Avalos did kind of say, like, we're going to take a pause on this and see what's best. And so, yes, I agree with you guys. The defense has been the bigger problem, but I also think they could have won some of these games because they could have scored more points if they weren't jacking around with putting different guys in on every play and throwing interceptions on the first play they come in. So if you want to read my story on the QB system, what I think is going to happen there, all that kind of stuff, again, we would love to have you subscribe. We're trying to get 27 more subscribers to help us get to 27 more subscribers to help us get to 800. We'd love to do that. And if you refer a friend and you get somebody to sign up, I'll even give you a gift card as well. So whoever signs up, and then if you're a paying subscriber already and you get somebody else to sign up, I'll throw you a free round of golf at Timberstone or one of these final few Taco Bell gift cards I have. So help us get to 800, help spread the word. We're trying to improve some of our equipment. We would love to continue to add to our staff. We got a lot of things we want to do at BNN, but we can't do it without your support. So please go support the sponsors that are making this show possible. You see many of them behind me on the screen. Please support all of our great sponsors and tell them when you do use them that it's because of their sponsorship of Bronco Nation News. Let them know it's working. And again, $50 an entire year, 366 days. I think they even give you a free day, 366 days for $50 using the promo code BNN50 deal at the bottom of your screen. It's less than $1 a week. I also throw in a Timberstone or Taco Bell gift card. And if you can't do that, it's $6.99 for the monthly option as well. So hopefully you'll subscribe. And today's the day you finally jump in. I sent out 4 gift cards yesterday to new subscribers. So I've got the postage right here, and I can drop it in the mail today as soon as you sign up. So appreciate everybody for checking us out. An hour and 1 minute. Excited about that. Bronco Ray says, I think next Saturday will be a full house on the Blue. Tequila Gus will be there. We'll be doing our pregame show next Saturday over at the James. So come on over to the James, say hello to us. We're going to be giving away a bike, I believe. We got a cruiser bike that we're giving away thanks to Cutwater Spirits and Stein Distributing Company. So let us know what you think of the show by subscribing in the bottom of the screen there. Hit that red button, hit subscribe, tell your friends. We appreciate everybody. Logan, I got your email. I'll be responding to you after the show here. And again, $50, BNN 50 deal. We could really use your support. Help us continue to grow BNN, and we'll throw you a $20 gift card to Taco Bell or a free round of golf at Timberstone. You can choose. And appreciate it. Another show in the books. Jay Tuss will join me tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll get Jay's thoughts on all this. And we got a lot of exciting things in the work at Bronco Nation News. So go subscribe. You can read my story on the quarterbacks today. You can read my story on Andy Avalos from yesterday. A lot of cool stuff going. BroncoNationNews.com. Then click the subscribe, register button up there in the corner. So Bronco Ray says, thanks for the great show and going longer. Yes, that is the goal. The Jay Tuss shows are now 45 minutes. We didn't have a co-host today. We're working on that. Stay tuned on that as well. And then hopefully some news on the shows with Johnny and Prater here in the near future as well. So we're working through some things. So appreciate all you guys. Seriously, tip of the cap. You make this show possible with the comments and the everything. And tell your friends. Help us grow the YouTube channel. Help us grow the website. And we really appreciate all you guys and what you're doing for BNN. So go support the sponsors. Go get your coffee. Bronco Brew Coffee. BroncoBrew.coffee is the website. And we appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys later. Tell your friends. We'll talk to you 9 a.m. tomorrow. And we'll be seeing you at BroncoNationNews.com here shortly with my article on the quarterbacks. Have a great rest of your day. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.